Good evening, everyone. I know it has been quite some time since we have met, since we have talked and fellowshipped. A lot has been happening in my life, both positive and negative, but we're going to focus on the positive. I just want to say welcome back. Thank you to all of you who have sent your prayers for my family. I had a family member who had surgery last week. The surgery was successful. And I am hopeful and looking forward to that. But tonight, bitch, we have a lot to discuss. I am trying out a new look. For those of you, of course, you're already saying that in the chat. I am kind of going back to my roots, so to speak. But hi, I'm in Dubai. Dr. Lori in Dubai. Oh my God, you guys are in Dubai. We have a lot to discuss today. First off, hi to all my cabinet members. Clarissa, Daphne, Angelita. Thank you, Angelita. Nikisha. Shally. Yes. Oh, God, you guys really like the haircut. Thank you. D in Savannah. Thank you, D. I am trying. I'm a work in progress. I'm also working on my weight. So, but yes, we have a lot to discuss. It has been quite a time. It's so sad, first off. It's so sad that since my last meeting, I have to talk about another black man being killed in the street by police. It gets exhausting. I am tired of it. It's getting old. Where will it end? You know? So we had the situation. I'm going to start off, first off, rest in peace to Daniel Prude. For those of you not familiar with Daniel Prude, basically what happened is in March, Mr. Prude was naked in the street. Okay, when the officers restrained him and pinned his face to the ground for 2 minutes after covering it with a spit mask. He was taken off of life support 7 days later, and a medical examiner ruled the death a homicide by asphyxiation. We're living in a time, I feel like I would like to report more positive news sometimes, but every time I try to do that, something happens. And it's just, after a while, it just gets exhausting. So here's the thing. It happened in March. They essentially tried to cover it up. Okay. It came out. Now everybody's gagging, bitch. So my thing is this. I have to share this with you because I was in a Uber last week. And for those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you see my statuses. I had another driver ask me, the driver asked me, and he was a white man, asked me about what I thought about reparations. And I said, well, I don't think it's going to happen, so I don't think about it. Right? That's my honest answer. Do I think it would be great and would I support it? Absolutely. But I know it's not going to happen, so I don't think about it. Okay? And he goes, well, that's good. And you know me, I can't keep quiet. I said, so what do you mean that's good? Well, why do you think black people should get reparations? So part of me, I had to realize I was being baited at this point, but I wanted to expound upon that concept. Okay. Then he goes, so I explain why. And he goes, well, and I talk about, black people getting killed by police, things like that in the streets. He's like, well, if you just do what you're supposed to do. I said, well, Philando Castile was doing what he was supposed to do. Eric Garner was selling cigarettes. I mean, these are not violent instances. Breonna Taylor was asleep. Okay? And if for the people that I want y'all to tag Uber in the comments, because I feel like for Uber, you guys really need to send out a statement, or you really need to talk to your drivers and advise them that in this climate, just tell your drivers to say hello, verify who the fuck getting in the car, and keep it moving. Okay? So he proceeds to first of all, I'm trying to ignore him, so I have my headphones in. He pushed the conversation. Mind you, he also had on political talk radio, which in this climate, you should not have political talk radio. And Uber, if you decide to DM me, and tag Lyft's ass too, if you decide to DM me, I do have the name. I'm not going to put them on blast out here, but I do still have the name and when the trip was. You know, y'all keep a log, bitch. Okay? Do not have political talk radio on in your car. Bitch, it need to be top 40 easy listening, jazzercise or something. This is just not because you don't know who's getting in your car. My issue is this. As much as we don't know who car we getting into and we're using the safety system, suppose I was radical and crazy and I had a gun on me. You would have lost your life trying to get into an argument with somebody. You don't know what I have. And we don't need to be asking people those kind of questions in cars. So to bring this back to Daniel Prude, this is why I'm reporting on this yet again. Because I have seen firsthand, you know, I'm from, even though Maryland is considered a southern state, technically, it's still up north. It's the mid-Atlantic. We ain't in the antebellum South, okay? We ain't in the deep South. And I couldn't believe, right, what was happening. Like, this is some shit you see on TV, or you see that happens down south, or like in these places where it's like, bitch, I would never go there. But like, it's people out here that's really bold and brave and really thinking that. And if they bold enough to ask me that in the Uber, then cops is definitely bold enough to kill people in the street like they doing and keep doing it. And cover it up. So, today, now mind you, Daniel Prude died in March, bitch. Daniel Prude died when COVID really hit and we was all going on lockdown. Okay? Fast forward, they just reporting the shit hits the fan in August. So today, the mayor of Rochester, this happened in Rochester, New York. So the mayor of Rochester, Lovely Warren, that's a hell of a name, bitch. Who the fuck named you Lovely? Bitch, number one, how did you win with a name like Lovely Warren, bitch? That sounds like either a pimp from the 70s or a goddamn video game character or some shit in a Quentin Tarantino film or something. Lovely Warren. But anyway. So, today, the entire command staff, okay, and I'm reading this from BuzzFeed, but it's on a lot of fucking articles. The entire command staff of the Rochester Police Department is resigning after a week of protests over the death of Daniel Prude. Just 2 days ago, Singletary, okay, LaRon Singletary, who is the police chief, said that he had no plans to resign. He and Warren, which is the man, you know, Lovely Warren, the Quentin Tarantino character, were supposed to attend a virtual city council meeting Tuesday. Instead, Warren appeared alone and announced that the entire Rochester Police Command staff was retiring, including Singletary, at least 2 deputy chiefs, and possibly a number of others. The mayor added that Singletary was not asked to give his resignation. The chief has felt that his career and his integrity has been challenged. Bitch, you don't say. Said Warren. He feels that the events have happened, could have been handled differently, but he didn't in any way try to cover this up. Okay? The mayor appeared to deflect blame onto Singletary last week by saying she was not told the details of Prude's death until August. Okay? But she also praised Singletary as a dedicated public servant. Okay? The 7 officers involved in Prude's death have been suspended without pay, and the New York Attorney General's office has opened an investigation. But protesters have called for the officers to be fired and want police to be barred from responding to mental health calls. They also want the Rochester Police Department to be defunded and disbanded. Okay. So, basically, they retire real quick so they can get their pensions and benefits. Okay? Because they don't want to get fired. They don't want no issues. So they go ahead. The whole goddamn top tier just... Where the fuck does that happen? Second thing, now you got to train new officers to take these leadership positions. At least that's what I think. I mean, I don't work with the fucking police, so I don't know how this works. But I know that's with any job, bitch. If all the management leaves, somebody got to get trained to be a key holder. Okay? If we shit, let's just say we up in Marshall, bitch. You was a key holder, now you a store manager. You don't just jump from key holder to store manager. You got to get trained to something, okay? I just feel like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, and it's shameful. It's shameful. The mayor should be embarrassed. Because, see, here's the thing. Word on the street is they didn't even tell the mayor. Like, they told her they told the mayor just before this meeting, right? Here's the thing. Y'all do all of this copping for police and standing by your law enforcement and see how they do you. And you the mayor, bitch. And they just left you. It ain't no loyalty amongst thieves. And I don't know why people keep working for these organizations and thinking that shit is going to work out differently for them. You seen Star Wars, bitch. You know Darth Vader don't give 2 shits. He'll kill any goddamn body with the Force. Throat crush, bitch. Now you in charge. You seen New Jack City, bitch. Am I my brother's keeper? You know how this works. I don't understand why nobody gets it. But everybody want to act stupid and play dumb. So now she looking crazy. They get ready to get their money. Daniel Prude is dead. Rest in peace. And we got another black person, another black man on TV dead for no... Now, you know, it's... Whatever. Okay. Whatever. Now, one thing I do want to address is this Michael Cohen book. Okay? This Michael Cohen book. So, I've had people ask me, they say, you know, DDM, are you going to read Michael Cohen's book? The answer is no. I'm not reading his book. I told y'all I wasn't reading no more Trump books. Y'all thought I was playing. I'm not playing. I'm not reading it. And here's why I'm not reading it. Not only am I not going to deal with the cease and desist shit, although that really don't have too much to deal with. I don't really give a fuck about that shit. But at this point, when you could have helped the country, Michael Cohen, you didn't. It was only when your ass got locked up and you realized that he wasn't going to help you. Now we want to write books. And, you know, not that me reading a book is going to make a difference because it's still #1 on the Amazon bestsellers list. But I'm not reading any more Trump books for you to tell me the same shit that I see on the news. I don't need you to show me what the devil look like, bitch, when I'm sitting in this living room. I don't need you to tell me that. I don't need you to tell me that Donald Trump is a racist. I don't need you to tell me that his campaign is crooked. We're past that point now. We have an election to win. And not for nothing, it's not like this book helps the people that's not against that's against Trump or helps the other side. Because guess what? You're not even fucking credible. You're a disbarred lawyer and a convicted fucking felon. Okay? Who got fired, got thrown under the bus, left hung out to dry by the boss that you was protecting. That's a recipe for a hater. What the fuck we gonna do with that? How are we gonna use that in court, bitch? Disgruntled employee. That's not gonna win the case against Donald Trump. What we gonna do with that? Because guess what? Where's that? Kayleigh McEnany, who is the press secretary who used to work for CNN, that's the whole shade. She was a Republican pundit for CNN. Then already came out, did the press conference, okay, basically saying, that, Trump is Cohen's disgruntled and all of that. So, at the end of the day, what she said, Michael Cohen is a disgraced felon and a disbarred lawyer who lied to Congress. He has lost all credibility, and it's unsurprising to see his latest attempt to profit off of lies. Now, this is the one instance where the bitch ain't lying. Now, I don't know if he profiting off of lies, bitch, because he probably telling the truth. But, what we gonna do with you, Michael? You're not useful to nobody now. I mean, you gonna get your coins off the book, but I ain't reading that shit. Your publisher ain't send me a copy like they usually do. Number one, your publisher, I didn't think he got like Scholastic or nobody like that. It's like some whack-ass publisher. But I ain't buying the shit to read. I'm not giving you my sale. So I feel like that's like a waste of time. And like I said, furthermore, you're not going to do anything but tell us the same shit that we already know. Okay? Now, hey, fuck Michael Cohen. Because he could have helped and he didn't. Now, another thing that's interesting, right? So, outside of the whole book shit, while we're in the Trump sphere, right? Outside of the whole book shit, of course we know Donald Trump last week, it came out, he made the statement about people who died in wars are losers and suckers and all of this shit. And people got upset. The military allegedly is upset and all of that. I didn't put too much stock into that personally because, yes, it's horrible. We know it's terrible. Being a person whose family have served in wars, I have a family member that served in Desert Storm. I have family members that are in the military, right? I was like, damn, that's fucked up. But it's like, okay, whatever. What's surprising about that? That's not, the press that you're giving him for this. And this is one thing that Michael Cohen did say that I think that resonates a lot. Donald Trump's presidency is a product of the free press. Not free as in freedom of expression. I mean free as unpaid for. Rallies broadcast live, tweets, press conferences, idiotic interviews, 24/7 wall-to-wall coverage, all without spending a penny. And he's absolutely fucking right. Every headline, if I'm press, and this is where I'm getting ready to hit a nerve with the press people. If I'm press, everything right now should be about go Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Everything should be about that. His little side comments and shit, that shouldn't even be taking up your news cycle. Y'all still haven't learned yet. That's also why I'm not reading Michael Cohen's book. That should not be taking up your news cycle. It should be about everything. Y'all still haven't learned. But you know why you haven't learned? Because the reality is Donald Trump sells ads and he sells papers. And he sells books. Donald Trump makes people fucking money. And I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to keep it so hood with you right now. He even makes me fucking money. I'm going to be real with you right now. Because guess what? When I post these videos on YouTube, the AdSense, even though it ain't much because YouTube tries it fiercely, my highest rated videos are not the videos where I break down tax code. They're not the videos where I break down processes and how to vote and what to do. My highest viewed videos are always a Trump book and Trump news. The numbers don't lie about that, sis. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. When I read that Murray Trump book, it was almost 1,000 people in here before I even started. And that's the realest shit I ever say to you. And that's just facts. He makes people money. Anything right now associated with Trump, people gonna click on. That's why I try to balance the show with other news events, with laws, things like that. I'm preaching tonight. It's been a while. I missed y'all. But I gotta keep it 100 with you. Media, press, stop giving this man a platform. You should be TMZing the fuck out of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And I'm not even talking to Fox News, because we know where they stand. I'm talking to CNN. I'm talking to MSNBC. I'm talking to USA Today. I'm talking to Forbes. You go on any press website at any given time that's news related, there's a Trump section and or a Trump headline or a Trump something front and center. I'm glad Kamala's sneakers went viral. Although we talking about her fucking sneakers, which shouldn't even be a thing, I'm glad it went viral. Let's get them in the news cycle. Let's start this campaign. Y'all gave Trump all that free press, and you're not doing the same for the other end. That's all I'm saying. You got boats capsizing. He doing a damn thing. They go out and do 5 boats sink at the Trump boat parade in Texas. The weather was calm. The atmosphere was festive, which made it all the more surprising when several boats sank Saturday at an event put on by Trump protesters near Austin, Texas. Now, Austin is supposed to be the liberal part of Texas. For those of you not familiar, bitch, this happened in the liberal, but Texas is still Texas. Okay? Somebody said Jesus said no. He definitely parted the Red Sea for their asses. And I feel like it's all relative. And then what'll happen is, if, hopefully not, this is the case, if he gets elected again this year, the press is going to talk about everybody and what they should have did, what the campaign manager should have did, what people didn't show up, and all of this stuff. Never acknowledging the fact that they gave it a platform, a free one. But was it really free? Because all of these big corporations at debate time and when it's heavy events going on, convention, all of these ads, you see all these companies, all of these ads. So big business, y'all can throw out all of these fake ass, we care about the community, racism has no place here, all of that bullshit. But your ads and where you choose to spend money on those ads tell a completely different story. Follow the money. It'll tell you the truth every time. It'll tell you the truth every time. Now, something that I found interesting, and I want to get into, before we get into a lot of what I want to discuss about climate change and COVID, it's interesting that in the UK, social gatherings of more than 6 people will be banned in England from Monday in response to a sharp increase in coronavirus cases. The Prime Minister is to give a press conference on Wednesday at which he will confirm that the legal limit at which police can disperse gatherings of people will be reduced from the current 30 to just 6. Okay? The UK has seen a swift rise in the daily number of cases since the weekend, with the further 2,420 cases reported on Tuesday. We need to act now to stop the virus spreading, Johnson will say at Wednesday's press conference. So we're simplifying and strengthening the rules on social contact, making them easier to understand and for the police to enforce. Now, this is Boris Johnson, Mr. Brexit himself, bitch. He even got enough sense to say, oh, we got an uptick, bitch. Everybody getting shut down. Our dumbasses still walking around like ain't shit happening. What are we doing phase 3? And we ain't nowhere near British numbers as far as lower cases. But we talk about, bitch, I'm trying to see my movies. Whole time you trying to rush to a movie theater that been closed for 6 months where the mice been hee howling all up and through them seats and in the goddamn concession stand. But you want to go see Tenet though. But we still, I gotta go to Walmart, I gotta go to Target. Motherfuckers wearing club wear and club clothes to go shopping at Target to buy canned goods. Because you just can't stay your ass in the house. You in here getting your car washed and waxed to go sit in the goddamn Whole Foods parking lot out this bitch. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. I don't get it. Peace be still. Sometimes you just need to chill. Okay? Sometimes you just need to chill. It's plenty of shit on TV. You got all these great shows and shit. I'm watching Cobra Kai, bitch, like the shit just came out today. It's 2 years old, bitch. The fuck is wrong with y'all? I don't get it. So the UK, long story short, they got sense. They not fucking their shit up. At this rate, your passport going to expire before our asses can go any goddamn way. That's the way it's looking. But I digress. Now, it's funny because due to COVID, especially in New York, in the upper northeast, a lot of people are moving. Now, some say these numbers are a bit exaggerated, but you can't ignore what's happening, right? So this report came out stating that about 1,000 Americans are moving to Florida almost on average every day as families abandon northern cities in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, with home sales more than doubling in Florida. All right? In Palm Beach County, new single-family home contracts over $1 million saw a 268% increase compared to last year. The wealthy end of the market swelled across the major markets of South Florida, as well as Tampa and St. Pete, since the start of the pandemic. Experts say many people are still moving to Florida, fearing that a second wave of COVID-19 will hit during flu season. Now, you got people moving from upstate, from the northeast to the south because of COVID. Then you got these wildfires that's happening on the West Coast, in Northern California, and some other states on the West Coast, where people saying, forget it, fuck it, I'm over it. A lot of New York people, I think with COVID, and I have friends that live in New York, some have moved back home, some have moved out of state. I've personally seen this in real time, okay? This is not a speculation, I've seen the bitch. And I think a big part of the experience of living in a state like New York, or a city like New York City, is the opportunity, the atmosphere. The allure of living in New York City is the city itself. People don't per se stay home all day. Like, in the South and in Mid-Atlantic, the flyover country, Midwest, we got space. We can sit in our houses. We ain't paying $3,000 to live in a closet. We also ain't got Broadway and everything at our disposal. But when you take all of those things out, and you have people contracting COVID and, hospitals filling, ambulances coming down your block every day, it'll scare you. And it's interesting reading that the wealthier housing market is booming. And I think that, and this is my personal opinion, like I said, please feel free, I say this every fucking show, please feel free to do your own research. Because I ain't fit to argue with you in the comment section on YouTube. That's my YouTube folks. It's the YouTube people. Y'all like to argue, and I just can't, okay? Love y'all to pieces. My belief is this. Everybody's working now. So if I got my New York salary and I'm living like shit, but making, let's say, $100,000, but $100,000 in New York ain't really nothing. But I take my ass down to Florida or North Carolina or wherever, I can live like Puff Daddy on a New York salary. And I think that's what's happening. You don't have to show up to the office. In some cases, a lot of these places aren't really entering their offices again until 2021. Mid-2021. A lot of companies are saying, bitch, why are we renting office space in New York when these people can do this shit all from home? Cancel, don't renew that goddamn lease. Why are we renewing the lease in Times Square? Just to say we in Times Square? Ain't nobody in New York right now, so nobody can see the shit. Nobody can see the lights and all of that stuff. Here's how I think this impacts us politically, and it may end up being a good thing. I don't know. You have a lot of liberals up in the Northeast. You also have a lot of conservatives. What I hope happens, and this is my hope. What I hope happens, okay, is that a lot of these, more liberal-leaning folks, non-Trump voting folks, move to these counties in Florida, because we know Florida is a big deal on the electoral college map and in elections. They register as Florida citizens. They switch everything over. And that they can vote in time in this election. I don't know if that's possible. I have to research all that. I haven't researched that. But that's just my mind, my wheels spinning, And it'll be interesting to see in the next 5 years, how the demographics change in America as far as population and who's populating where. It'll be interesting to see how that works. And it'll be interesting to see if at that time you start seeing discussions in Congress and in government about that good old electoral college map changing or being abolished altogether. I think the COVID pandemic, coupled with climate change, all of this stuff is having an impact on how America is shifting. I think we are living in one of the most historic times in this country. We're living in a time of that could rival potentially the Great Migration from the South to the North, when black people moved from the South to northern cities in the Midwest. With the rise of the internet, technology, 3D printing, all of these advances, we're living in a spectacular time. We're living in a time for the ages. We are living in a time that when we are old or gray, our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will view it in a totally different way. They'll view it as a history book. There are kids now who were born in 2001 who view September 11th, they view it like how we view the civil rights movement. It's not even real to them. It's like something that happened, but it didn't happen. That's how this is going to be viewed. And when I say spectacular, that could be good and bad. Spectacular, it's a lot. Okay? And I say this to my millennials. Not Gen Z, my millennials. Because millennials, let's look at the psychology. If you talk to a millennial, and I'm talking about the kids that were born in like the early 80s up until the early 90s, a lot of us seem old. I know this is a little off topic, but I want to speak to this. A lot of us seem old. You know why we seem old? Because we have lived through a lot of technological and historically significant events that most generations only experience maybe one or two of. We have lived through analog. We have seen the rise and the introduction and really the takeover of the internet. We have lived through September 11th. We have lived through the housing crisis of 2008. We have lived through a major pandemic and global plague. We have lived through record unemployment rates. We have seen the college system almost disintegrate and price people out. We have gotten to see our government and civics process go through every test and every red alert and every worst case scenario that we never thought we would see that you learn in school. We have lived through the crack era. We have lived through AIDS. Somebody brought that up. We have lived through several riots. Millennials have experienced a lot. With that comes wisdom. With that comes being able to adapt. But it ages you a lot. Millennials also, and I'm preaching right now, millennials also, and I'm slightly speaking for myself, but we feel a little cheated. Because a lot of the kids that were born in the early 80s, up into the early 90s, we are also the MTV generation. We watched a different world. We thought we were going to be living a different kind of life. There was a period where you was like, oh, I'll go to college. Anything is possible. That was the 60s. So there's some resentment there. And I say that to say, I think that's why what I do here with you guys is successful. Because nobody's speaking to that. You know, I applied for a grant for Secretary of Shade because I wanted to make it bigger. I want to make it, more things. But that costs money, right? And they asked me, they say, what makes yours different? I said, all of these laws, all of these registrations, everything that we watch on these news shows, none of it speaks to millennials truly. We're in a time where the government is trying to figure out how they're going to take care of the baby boomers and give them their benefits. And also, too, how are they going to keep up with Generation X and help spearhead the innovation that they require? Meanwhile, you have this generation stuck in the middle that's totally ignored. That's keeping it going. I know I'm preaching. I know I'm going off. But I think these conversations are so necessary. Okay? So with that being said, I'm getting ready to call it a night. I'm going to start season 2 of Cobra Kai, bitch, because I'm living for the show. Okay? We're back on our regular schedule, so I'll probably meet with you guys again later this week. If not, especially at the top of next week. Once again, if you're not following me on social media, Make sure that you follow me at Dapper Dan Midas. If you feel so inclined to donate, my Cash App and Venmo at Dapper Dan Midas. You know, I definitely appreciate all of your help and contributions and watching and fellowship and absorbing everything in. And one thing I want to say is I don't have all the answers. I never claim to. I encourage you. I do this to encourage you to do your own research. It's not about me proving myself right or you proving me wrong. It's about you getting inspired to get involved in your process. That's what this is all about. It's not for us to argue about, no, bitch, because I saw the article here. It's for us to mobilize, share information, and have a little key at the same time to keep from crying. That's what it's about. But with that being said, I love y'all. Y'all know I rock with y'all. Thank you for always supporting me. Y'all have a good evening. Be blessed. Stay safe. Get involved. Keep your head on the swivel. And y'all have a good evening.